Hello everybody and welcome to Day 9 of Invictus Fleet Week in 2022. Today's featured manufacturer is Drake Interplanetary. Like my shades? Yeah, I pulled them off a dead guy. First thing we're going to look at is the brand new Mule. It just came out today actually. What it is a ground vehicle by Drake that it carries, I believe it is 8 small boxes and one big one in the back, plus it has a forklift in the front. So you can carry an additional large cargo box in front. This thing is used to load and unload ships that are on the ground. Also, when you're on the searching missions where you find a downed ship, you can use this to take some of the goodies off that ship and load it into your own. Now this thing is brand new. I believe it's like $40 in the store right now. It comes with lifetime insurance. It might have potential if they get to a point where the ships actually land on the planet and you have to unload on the planet. There are a couple screenshots where it looks like maybe that's what they're thinking, but as it is right now, there's nothing that seems to indicate that that's how things are going to work. Either way, we're going to pop inside here and just have a quick look. You can see that big center in the back. That's where the big ones go. These little ones on the side are for the 8 small ones, and then of course the forklifts in front, which I can't get working in here because it's just the show. It's a very small, compact little thing. I'm thinking about loading a couple of these up on maybe my M2 and taking it to one of those downed ships and looting it that way. Next, we're going to head over to the Cutlass Black. This is one of the workhorses of the Star Citizen universe. Got to get a shot, an impressive shot of it here. The Cutty Black, as it's known, is one of the more versatile ships out there. There's a starter pack that uses it, and if you're looking for a ship that can do almost anything, it can dogfight fairly decently for a ship its size. It's decently well armored, has a good size cargo bay, so you can go down and you can loot things, and I think you could probably even fit one of those mules in the cargo bay. Not exactly sure, but this is one of the more popular models out there. It is a great ship as far as starter ships go. If you have the budget to cover what it is, the Cutty's amount is probably one of the better things you can get. I do like the C8 Pisces and the Avenger Titan for the cheaper models of ships to get, because they can also do some cargo hauling as well as dogfighting. C8 is not so much dogfighting, but it can. It's just not great. Not as good as the other two. This is meant for 2 people, maybe even 3. It's got the turret in the back. They used to have a bathroom there. There is no bathroom there anymore, so if you guys are going to go on a long mission, bring a bucket. And as you can see, the cargo area is pretty big. It has doors on each side. I thought it used to have a tractor beam, but I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I've been on one of these. So maybe that was on another Cutty, because there's a lot of different features on these Cutties. And you're going to see all 4. So next one, this is the Cutlass Steel. This is the new Cutlass model. It is designed as a landing craft. As you can see, it is stainless steel in color, I guess. So, I mean, it's extra shiny that way. This is a good ship for when you're trying to do ground operations, and it's a drop ship. Whether it's as strong as the other drop ships, it's hard to say, but it is much better at providing supporting fire. As we'll see, you can see a couple of door guns right there. Those are size 1 little ballistic guns. And then I believe it has more turrets on it as well. Then you have the 2 door guns here. So, you gotta have a lot of Marines with you to man all the guns. And then of course, anybody who lands, you're gonna be carrying a bunch of people as well. As you can see, there's a bunch of jump seats in here, bunch of seats in here for troops, and of course there's door guns on each side. And you come up here and you have your 2-person thing, turret right where the bathroom was. So yeah, don't go along with a cargo hold full of people. That's not much in the creature comfort area, but it's also one heck of a good ship for providing support for the guys on the ground. Next ship we're going to look at is the Herald. This is the reporter of the Star Citizen Galaxy. It is made for basically getting good shots, good video from around the universe, and maybe even doing some sort of information transferring thing. For the most part, it's more like the media ship, where I guess you're supposed to get in video and edit it, or maybe it does some sort of long-range recon with video. It is hard to say because this gameplay loop is not in the game right now. In fact, you see this doesn't really work. But it might be useful for someone who, like me, who likes to do videos. If I want to show action from a battle from a long way off, maybe I could pop in one of these things and be out of harm's way, but able to show you what's going on. Who knows? We'll see what happens when they develop it a little bit farther. And this is the Drake Buccaneer. If you wanted a ship that is very, very powerful for its size, weapons-wise, the Buccaneer is a great ship. It is extremely fast, extremely maneuverable. Problem is, it does not have much in the way of defense at all. Their claim to fame is that they decided they'd rather add more weapons than give you even an ejection seat. So this thing is designed to go in there, shoot at something with everything it's got, and get the heck out of there because it cannot stand up to a whole lot. This used to be something that they would use for the low-level pirates a lot, that you could blow it up pretty quickly. The way you fight this ship would be a lot different from what you would use on, say, a Cuddy Black, because they're very fast, very maneuverable, very hard to hit, and that is their defense. They don't have much in the way of armor or shields, so you have to be... The first rule of not getting hit is don't get hit, and that's how you fight Buccaneer. These two over here, the Cuddy Blue and the Cuddy Red. Cuddy Blue is the cops. They have interdiction capability, so you can't quantum out if they're on you, and they can pull people out of quantum. The red one is the medical gameplay one. It has, I believe it has two level 1 or two low level beds on there, so you can go out, you can drag somebody who's barely alive back in there, put them on the table and keep them alive until you can get to a better place. Over here we're going to take a look at the Vulture. This is part of the new salvage gameplay. They don't have the salvage gameplay out yet, and this is actually the first time I've seen this in game. It's bigger than I thought it would be. This is what you're going to use to strip the hulls of any ships that you find destroyed, and you go out and you blow them up with your Buccaneer, and then you have this guy come in later on and pick up the pieces. You know, it's a waste of a good ship to just leave it destroyed. What is this thing? I think what this is going to be a crusher, so you're going to go get a whole bunch of bits of metal off of the ship, and you're going to put it in there, and it's going to compact it into those little blocks that you see when they recycle cans or whatever. There's actually a lot more to this ship than I thought there was. I didn't think there would be a second level like this. It's got a nice little thing. Clearly it's a one-person ship because salvaging is a lonely life, apparently. And, yep, so your main area here where you would line up, and then off the ends of those arms, it looks like there's some sort of like laser thing that's designed to eat away at the hole, and that's how they're having it work. It was in one of the low-level like white box passes or something like that we saw it. Not really a white box, I don't know what it was, but it was basically like no color, no nothing to it, no detail, and it just kind of showed what it kind of looked like. And I think they're still really trying to figure out what they want to do with it. Hopefully it'll be out by the end of the year or shortly thereafter. And I know there's a lot of people looking forward to being able to salvage destroyed ships, myself included. And it actually has a pretty good size cargo bay, and yeah, see, it looks like they'll crunch out little blocks full of metal and put them right in the cargo bay area. That can be actually kind of cool to see that whole system working. Now, what kind of exhibition of Drake ships would this be without this beast off to my left over here? This is the Drake Caterpillar. It is one of the bigger haulers currently in the game. I believe it has like 543 SCUs of hauling capability. Bigger than my M2, but not by a whole lot, which is why I picked the M2, because the M2 is more maneuverable and more combat oriented. But this thing is basically the container ship, small medium-sized container ship of the universe. That in comparison to like the whole D's, E's, and if they haven't whole F, I don't know, but if they do, those things are meaty, absolutely ginormous. This is it's a good size. It's supposed to be modular. This whole back part here with the cockpit and everything is supposed to be able to come off and attach to other cargo types. Of course, that part's not in the game yet, and it's just kind of on the horizon, and I'm not really seeing. You know, I used to be able to tell where they had that kind of, okay, this would come off here sort of thing going on, but I don't see it with the Caterpillar so much, especially since you get in right here and it's like you're basically in the cargo area. I suppose you could cut off the back part of the cargo area and that would be it, and it's going to pop you up right into, come on elevator, there we go. You're kind of in a crew crew area here. So if we go a little bit forward, we're going to go into the crew mess, which looks like a scene from Aliens would happen right there, or Alien would happen right there, where that alien pops out. And then this would be the cargo section. So there, in theory, there should be a split between the two. If you're going to attach differently, I don't see it, but that doesn't mean they won't make it work somehow or make it happen somehow. I suppose you could at the double doors, but it seems like everything has doors like that. And these are a little bit tricky to find the bridge, by the way. So when you get on that elevator, you want to come toward the back, off to the left, come toward the back, go through engineering. We're going to take a look here. There's nothing to do in engineering really at this point, but then you got to go through engineering. There's turret access for future reference, and then up these stairs. You basically got to make a big spiral around the whole ship to get over to the bridge. I'm going to show you the tractor beam station. This will be useful when you're moving cargo, which when physicalized cargo comes up, you're going to need to move cargo from your ship to the port somehow, and luckily this thing comes with its own tractor beams, and that's going to be extremely useful. I think it's going to save a lot of time depending on how they implement it and make it work. You know, depending on where the tractor beam comes from and what it can reach in the cargo holds and how far it can go, that sort of thing. And then up here is the main bridge. It's kind of an offset bridge. Back here, there's a little sneaky thing down there to the lower level. I'll show you that in a minute. But up here is the pilot seat and co-pilot seat. One of the good things about these guys is they have decent weapons. It doesn't maneuver anywhere near well enough to dogfight anything that is more fighter oriented. But you might be able to take on a bigger ship that is slow and can't maneuver with those. Of course, it does also have turrets to defend itself, and the turrets are where the real defense is at. And down here is crew berths. Looks like there's room for 4, and then another tractor beam station, so you can somehow unload your cargo when you get it. It is very, very utilitarian, put it that way. This is not an Origin Jump Works kind of ship. This is very much, it's got what it needs. It's not pretty. It's not laid out in the most convenient way. It has what it needs, and they put it in there. And it's a fairly ugly ship, kinda, but it does the job, and it is one of the best at what it does. I don't like to fly it as much as I like flying the M2, and the M2 just doesn't have the cargo space, so it's not quite as big on each run, but it's worth it to me because the M2 just flies a whole lot better. We're going to go into the secret back area. Hey look, gear. Doesn't look like that's rendered yet. Kind of foggy still. I should probably pick some of these up before the end because, hey, those don't look all that bad. Now we're going to come back to, what is this thing called? No, the Dragonfly, right? Dragonfly? Yeah, Dragonfly. See, this is one of those motorcycles that has grav lev or whatever it is, where it basically elevates off, anti-gravity, so it elevates off the ground. So when I look at this, and I look at the one from, I think his last video, where it was a tumble wheeled motorcycle, it's like, why would you do a tumble wheeled motorcycle when you can do this thing? This one even has room for another person on the back. I think it is well armored, and I believe it can actually fly pretty well. I think it doesn't just hover above the ground. I think it can actually fly. I might be getting that confused with another one that looks almost exactly like it. So, yeah, this thing is pretty capable. If you're looking for something that just gets 2 people from point A to point B on the ground, this will do it. Right now, there's not really that much need for something like this. Of course, people race these things too. They're very fast, and I think that's what these things are really for, is racing right now. Because if you can land within a kilometer or 2 of a ground target, get out of your ship and go attack it, why would you even waste time bringing something like this, unloading your ship, loading up and going, because you would have been there by then. So their utility is not high just yet, but they are kind of fun to fly. And then over here we're going to go see what's coming out in the near future. This is the Kraken. The Kraken is they say it's a light carrier. It is much bigger than pretty much anything else that we've seen available to the civilian world. It's capital ship size. That's probably about the size of a Javelin. I'd have to look at the numbers to see exactly what it is. But it can hold, I think, 3... Yeah, there's 3 extra smalls right there, and I think it has 2 for something that they say is small, which is up to like a Cutty Black. It's got 2 spots for Cutty Black, and then it's got like 3 slots for Buccaneer size things. And it can service them and reload and all that sort of thing. That's going to be really cool kind of flagship for your group when you get there. And this is the Corsair. A lot of people looking forward to this coming out. Personally, I wasn't looking too much forward to it, though. Now that I've dealt with some of the other fighters and trying to do some missions that require cargo plus dogfighting ability, and this thing is also an explorer, so it's one of those things that has multiple roles and has a lot more utility than a lot of other ships. So I'm not the biggest fan of that offset wing thing they got going on here, but as far as capabilities of the ship, it's kind of growing on me. You know, that MISC, was it the Endeavor, their explorer ship that has the mining ability that just does Quantanium, you know, that because it just does Quantanium, that doesn't appeal to me anymore. So maybe I could get something smaller like the Corsair and be able to travel just as well. It all depends on what their scanning ability is and their ability to explore. So that's it for Drake. I'm going to just leave it out here looking at the Javelin. Hopefully you learned a little something and are interested in looking at some of these Drake ships. If you'd like to hear more, we're getting to the end of Invictus, but yeah, there will be more stuff on Star Citizen. Please like and subscribe. Thanks. Have a good one.